As it stands after a few days of free agency, the Eagles of 2019 won't look a whole lot different than the 2018 Eagles. Howie Roseman has put an emphasis this offseason on locking up their own talent while filling out the rest of the roster with veterans. That was capped by Friday's news that cornerback Ronald Darby would be returning on a one-year, which begat deals bringing back Jason Peters and Brandon Graham, not to mention extensions for Isaac Seumalo and Jason Kelce. Clearly, Roseman, the Eagles' executive vice president of football operations, has put an emphasis on keeping the players at positions of value, offensive line, cornerback, while allowing those at lesser positional value, linebacker, wide receiver, leave in free agency. Nick Foles is gone, but Nate Sudfeld is waiting in the wings. Jordan Hicks is gone, but the Eagles don't care much about the linebacker position, and they signed L.J. Fort from the Steelers anyway. Golden Tate signed with the rival Giants, but the Eagles upgraded to Deshaun Jackson. They let Timmy Jernigan go, but signed Malik Jackson to replace him. Perhaps Roseman hasn't swung for the fences just yet, but not every transaction has to be a home run. Singles and doubles are effective too. Interestingly, much of the moves made this offseason fall in line with what the Eagles had done to this point last year. The checklist: re-sign and defensive leader, Nigel Bradham in 2018, Graham this year, release a key defensive lineman, Vinny Curry in 2018, Jernigan this year, trade away a veteran, Torrey Smith in 2018, Michael Bennett this year, acquire another veteran, Michael Bennett in 2018, Deshaun Jackson this year. Sign a special team-centric linebacker, Corey Nelson in 2018, L.J. Fort this year. Sign a veteran defensive tackle, Elodie Nada in 2018, Malik Jackson this year. Last year, by the time the draft hit in April, the Eagles had signed 3 more role players in Paul Warrillow, Mike Wallace and Richard Rodgers. Is that a sign of what's to come with the rest of the Eagles offseason this year, too? Here's our best guess for what's coming next. Option 1. Bring Chris Long back into the fold. The Eagles delayed Long's roster bonus at his request, as he continues to mull over his future. Long's decision is an important one, as the Eagles lack depth at defensive end without him around. Option 2. Sign and/or trade for a running back. Eagles fans are getting antsy, especially after watching Tevin Coleman and Mark Ingram sign affordable contracts with the 49ers and Ravens, respectively. What will the Eagles do at running back? There aren't as many big names available in free agency, but still some solid rotational options such as Spencer Ware, T.J. Yeldon, Isaiah Crowell and C.J. Anderson. On the trade market, perhaps the Eagles could still swing something for Bears running back Jordan Howard, who appears to be the odd man out in Chicago. Also, keep an eye on the 49ers, who could look to deal Jerick McKinnon or Matt Breida after the Coleman signing. Option 2A, bring back Jay Ajayi on a one-year deal. Keeping in tune with those running back options, it's also possible the Eagles go a similar route with Ajayi as they did with Darby. Ajayi is set to visit with the Colts, as Darby did with the Chiefs, and if that visit doesn't go according to plan, Ajayi might not find much of a market. Perhaps he'd be willing to return on a one-year, prove-it contract to get a shot at free agency in 2020 again. If he's healthy, the Eagles might not have many better options. Big if. Option 3, restructure another contract. Friday, the Eagles reworked Bradham and Long's deals to clear more than $5 million in cap space. After Darby's signing, the Eagles should have around $10 million in cap space, just an estimation, and if they desired to add a few more free agent role players, it'd make sense to get Roseman to work his magic some more. 3 obvious restructure candidates include Zach Ertz, Malcolm Jenkins and Alshon Jeffrey. Option 4, sign a reserve offensive lineman. After letting go of Stefan Wisniewski, the Eagles are severely lacking for depth on the interior offensive line. That is especially a concern if Brandon Brooks' Achilles is still not ready to at the start of the season. Some veteran options available in free agency include Jeff Allen and the recently released Josh Sitton. Option 5. Bring back Timmy Jernigan. There hasn't been much in the way of reported interest in the young defensive tackle since the Eagles declined his $13 million option. He missed most of last season with a back injury, but when he's played he's been effective next to Fletcher Cox and is extremely popular in the locker room. Bringing him back on a one-year deal to be the third defensive tackle wouldn't be the worst thing. Option 6. Bring back Richard Rodgers, or sign a tight end. It's not quite as pressing, but the Eagles do have a hole to fill at the No. 3 tight end slot, which Trey Burton played so well before signing with the Bears to start last year. Richard Rodgers missed much of the season last year, but filled the role and was okay. The Eagles could upgrade their third tight end in free agency. Ravens' Max Williams is an option, or they could simply bring back Rodgers on another one-year minimum contract. Zach Rosenblatt may be reached at zrosenblatt@newadvancemedia.com. Follow him on Twitter at ZachBlatt. Find NJ.com on Facebook.